Hello comic book fans, this is your host Travis Collins aka Duck Punch, and I'm back for another episode of Duck Punch Comics, here to review 4 books that came out this week on September 9th, 2010. Today we are looking at X-Force, Sex and Violence number 3 of 3, Batman and Robin number 14, Amazing Spider-Man number 641, and Green Lantern number 57. Now, as is always the case, we jump straight to the reviews around here with X-Force, Sex and Violence number 3 of 3, written by Craig Kyle and Christopher Yost, with artwork by Gabriel Dell'Otto. Now, quick tally of everything we've seen in this miniseries. We've had the now defunct X-Force in action, we've had lots of violence, and we've had super ultra kinky sex. So I'm going to let you try and figure out, just from that little bit of information, what to expect from this last issue of this miniseries. Alright, Wolverine and Domino waltz into the home base of the Assassin's Guild and give Belladonna, the leader of the guild, an ultimatum. Walk away or die. This, of course, is not what the assassins have in mind, but things quickly devolve even further when the Hand decide they want to join the party. And since they aren't the only ones with a vested interest in Logan and in Domino, what results is a battle royale that ends this issue and this miniseries and Kyle and Yost's run on X-Force writ large on a very satisfying note. Now, this really comes off as a send-off to Kyle and Yost, who have been part of the X-Men universe for a long time now. They wrote X-Men Academy, they wrote New X-Men, and they wrote X-Force. The story itself was everything that their run on X-Force has become synonymous with. Gun-blazing action, in-your-face violence, and enough cheap laughs at the rampant gore to float an ABC sitcom. Buzzing. For what it was, this was a fun 3-parter, and I'm glad I picked it up. Dell'Otto is still Dell'Otto. I've said it a couple times, I'm not a fan, but there are scores of worse artists out there. Is this a story in any way relevant? No. Is this going to change anything about the stories that have already come in the debut of X-Force, Uncanny X-Force next month? No. But that wasn't the point. The point was to give these 2 writers one last hurrah and a final goodbye to the team and to the fans. Well done. Up next, Batman and Robin number 14, written by Grant Morrison with art by Fraser Irving. This is gonna hurt. See, by now, anyone who watches my videos knows how much I hate Grant Morrison. I can't stand him. But this issue, God forgive me for saying this, this issue does not completely suck. Now, the story is essentially about 3 different subplots, kind of all spinning around each other before they collide in the middle. We've got Dr. Hurt, who may be a semi-immortal relative of Bruce Wayne, and Professor Pig trying to wipe out or whip up Gotham City into a frenzy with this viral narcotic. We've got Batman trying to rescue Commissioner Gordon and find out just what's going on. And then you've got the Joker, who has kidnapped Robin and planning to use him as a weapon against the Black Glove. Okay. The fact that I have to say that this story was really pretty intriguing is nothing short of painful, considering that it comes from Morrison. But I have to give the man his due. This issue is pretty solid. Thankfully, Irving's artwork does give me something to bitch about. Good God, is it hideous. As in, I would rather look at the leavings in my cat's litter box than this book. Blah. In a book that has been really bizarre from the beginning and has alternately made me want to, just quit reading it completely. It's rare that a real diamond in the rough shows up that makes me smile in satisfaction. The fact that it came from Grant Morrison makes it just even rarer. Alright, next up, Amazing Spider-Man number 641, written by Joe Quesada, with artwork by Paulo Rivera, Joe Quesada, Danny Mickey, and Richard Isanove. I hope I pronounced that right. And with this issue, we finally finished the laborious One Moment in Time story. Thank God for it, too. Because any more of this crap, and I might have started to ingest thumbtacks to distract myself from the pain of reading this. Now, this story concludes with Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Mr. Fantastic all agreeing to help Peter in his request to have the world forget that he was, in fact, Spider-Man. At the last possible second, however, Peter throws Mary Jane into the magical circle so that she will be able to remember as well. This causes unintended emotional turmoil between the two that brings to an end the storybook romance they once shared. While this issue was slightly better than any of the previous ones, it still stank of redactive justification. Basically, Joe Quesada seemed to be saying, "See, it all made sense. It was all worth it. Didn't I tell you it was?" Which is fine and great and good, except that it was unnecessary. I don't think anyone was really clamoring for an explanation of one more day. So his explanation really just served to reopen old wounds for many comic fans, and to give a nice little capstone on the brand new day era, which could have easily been done any number of other ways. I did think it was cool the way that all the different artists each worked on pages that showed eras that they had also worked on. It was actually kind of neat. Like I said, this seemed to be a really backward and altogether unnecessary way to tie everything back to the beginning of the brand new day era of Spider-Man. It's a shame that they couldn't just carry on, but at least it's all done and we can finally move forward with new stories. So there you go. Last up, Green Lantern number 57, written by Jeff Johns and artwork by Doug Mahnke. Now, I'm probably the only or one of the few people who really liked the idea of the other Lantern Corps. So this Green Lantern story arc, which follows Hal and the gang as they try to figure out who is after the Lantern entities, is something that I've been really enjoying. Having said that, this issue was kind of, well, I'm not really sure what to say about it. Now, Hal Jordan and Lar Flees, the one and only member of the Orange Lantern Corps, escape from a possessed Hector Hammond and make their way to Las Vegas, where they meet up with the Star Sapphire Carol Ferris, who is hunting down the Predator, the entity that powers all the Star Sapphires. The Predator, for its part, has taken up residence inside of a random psycho stalker dude, and it is up to Carol, Hal, and Lar Flees to subdue the entity and take it back to Zamarin. But that's when things get really interesting. Now, after Blackest Night, Jeff Johns said that it was his goal to expand the Green Lantern universe and to show readers just how large it really was. To that end, he's really giving a lot of depth to the various corps and to the various entities that give them their powers. And while he's been doing a good job of that so far, I have to say that this issue felt really compacted. I'd rather have this spread out over another issue than this simply done in one story. Not that it was altogether bad, but it just felt smashed together. Mahnke, on the other hand, has been working his butt off drawing this book, and it shows. Still one of the best looking books from DC. I want to give this book high marks, but the compressed nature of the story really grates on me. I can live with longer story arcs. I really can. And given the snail's pace of Brightest Day, so can Jeff Johns. So would it kill anyone to have drawn this out just a little bit more? So there you go, guys. 4 books that came out this week. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. As always, leave comments. Let me know what you thought. And as always, have a great day.